Breakfast Club, bitches.
Who's Donkey of the Day today?
Well, Donkey of the Day for Thursday, May 26th goes to Nancy Crampton Brophy. Who is Nancy Crampton Brophy? Well, she is 71 years old and was just found guilty of second-degree murder. Now, what did Nancy do? Well, for the past 5 weeks, she was on trial facing charges that she murdered her husband in cold blood. A 12-person jury, after 26 days in court, came to a unanimous decision to lock her ass up for second-degree murder. Let's go to KGW News 8 for the report, please.
Count 1, murder in the second degree, guilty.
After about 24 hours of deliberation, a jury found Nancy Crampton Brophy guilty of killing her husband, Daniel. The murder happened nearly 4 years ago in June of 2018. The state said Crampton Brophy lied about where she was the morning of the murder. Her van was caught on surveillance in the area of the Oregon Culinary Institute in southwest Portland around the time of the murder. Prosecutors say the motive was money, insurance money Nancy would receive upon her husband's death. During the trial, Nancy told jurors she did not kill her husband. The verdict comes almost 4 years to the day of Daniel Brophy's death.
Hey, you commit the crime, you got to do the time. That's not why we are here today. We are here to discuss art reflecting life, or life reflecting art. All right, there's all these conversations happening in the media right now about rappers' lyrics being used against them in court. My thoughts on that are simple. Number one, I don't want people committing crimes, period. Okay, I know folks do what they have to do to survive, but my number one priority will always be to provide the opportunities and resources to people who need it so they don't have to go out and commit crimes. This is why I push investing in your mental wealth so much, because I want folks to go to therapy so they can get the healing they need, so they don't show up in this world hurt and in pain, because hurt people are hurt people. Folks in pain project that pain on the others, and they just walk around bleeding on folks who didn't cut them. So when it comes to, drug dealing, drug using, violence, I would rather y'all not partake in any of those activities, but I understand how you get there, okay? But I would rather you not do it, which leads me to number two. If you are going to do it, if you can't avoid it for whatever reason, if you have done it, are still doing it, and you are in the process of changing your life through art. By art, I mean rap and hip hop. Please, I'm begging you, don't put it in your music. Okay, one of the worst things we told our culture, and I'm guilty of it too, I am absolutely guilty of it. One of the worst things we told our culture is that we want our rappers to be real. Okay, that we want our rappers to live what it is they're rapping about. I apologize for ever saying these things. I apologize for ever putting that in the universe, because telling folks to keep it real, and by real, what we meant was criminal, was some of the worst advice we fed our culture. Because what happened was all the rappers who were, just doing it for entertainment, who we used to clown and, call CB4, they waited until, they got rich and successful to become gangbangers. Okay, and they started doing some of the things that they once lied about, okay? But then you had the dudes in the street who was really living that life, who was really about it, said to themselves, oh, we can talk about what we really doing, and since we really doing it, we gonna be the stars, right? We gonna get rich and famous now. Oh, well, let me go in here and indict my whole hood to a beat. Okay, that's essentially what happened. All right, all the street dudes who were still in the street started rapping about their day-to-day activities, not just rapping about them, doing interviews about them. Okay, I mean straight up giving law enforcement and prosecutors everything they needed to build a case, connecting all the dots for them. All right, you know how many law enforcement officials probably got bonuses cracking these cases by simply subscribing to some of y'all YouTube pages? So the issue to me isn't whether or not your lyrics should be used in court, okay? Because what confession, recorded, visual, or audio wouldn't a good prosecutor use in court? Duh. The issue is that y'all got the audacity, the unmitigated gall to rap about these things in the first place. But I'm here to tell you today, this isn't just a rap thing. This isn't just a, hip-hop street black thing, okay? Today, Nancy Crampton Brophy is getting donkey of the day because she was found guilty of murdering her husband. See, Nancy must have wanted to live her art. What are you talking about, Uncle Charla? Nancy wanted to live her art. Well, let's go to Inside Edition for the report, please.
Is this gray-haired romance novelist a grieving widow or a calculated murderer? Nancy Brophy is author of such steamy romance books as The Wrong Husband and The Wrong Lover, and also an article titled, get this, How to Murder Your Husband. Now she's accused of doing just that, gunning down her husband of 26 years.
Nancy shot him first in the back.
In the 2011 How to Murder Your Husband article, Nancy Brophy writes, "A spouse who commits mariticide will almost certainly become a prime suspect. To get off, the wife must be organized, ruthless, and very clever. 7 years later, her husband winds up brutally murdered inside the kitchen of a Portland, Oregon Culinary Institute where he taught cooking."
Now, I'm not the highest grade of weed in the dispensary, nor am I the strongest avenger, but if you write a book called How to Murder Your Husband, a book that details how to not only kill your husband, but how to get away with it, then you probably should, never kill your husband. The caucasity of this woman to write, divorce is expensive, and if you're married for money, aren't you entitled to all of it? But to carry out a successful murder would require you to be organized, ruthless, and very clever because the police aren't stupid. They are looking at you first. Nancy, you should have took your own advice, okay? Not only did Nancy play the role of grieving widow, she went to the police and asked for a letter to say she wasn't a suspect so she could get her life insurance money. Not only did she write this How to Murder Your Husband book, but research she conducted on her own computer about how to buy and assemble an untraceable ghost gun. And she lied and said she was nowhere near the crime scene, but surveillance footage showed Nancy driving to and from the crime scene during the exact window her husband had been shot, which contradicted the author's claims that she'd been at home in bed the whole time. Now, very important to note, the judge allegedly, the judge said he didn't let the jury read this book, even though I'm sure some of the jury did anyway. But the judge said he didn't let the jury read this book. The judge didn't let this book be used in court. So, with that said, how come some of these rappers' art is being used in court? If I rapped about some things in my past and then in the future I got caught up, if I'm not detailing specifics, if it's just art, if it's just entertainment, if it's just generalizations, why are these things being used in court against the rappers? Huh? Everybody, here's the thing though. Just please start lying again. All right? We don't need you to live your art. Okay, rappers, authors, stop. All right, stop. This stuff can and will be used against you in a court of law. We see this. And some donkey of the days just sell themselves. Please give Nancy Crampton Brophy the biggest ER. Now, let me ask you, Envy,
yes,
Angela Yee.
Yes.
Why do you think this woman who wrote this book, How to Murder Your Husband, right? Why do you think the judge didn't allow her book to be read by the jury, but allows rappers' old lyrics to be used against them? Why do you think that is?
Guess what? Racist! Dun, 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 dun.
He'll guess.
I would have to go white.
Okay. What about you, E? What do you think?
She's white.
Okay. Just wondering. Just wondering what y'all thought. That's all.
Is she?
Yeah, she is.
Oh.
Very Caucasian. Like, could be on a dollar bill Caucasian. I mean, she's a woman, but you know.
Okay, all right. But I can't,
One thing about some white women age like presidents.
Yeah, but okay. But there was some OJ wrote a book similar, right?
He did. It was called If I Did It. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Did that book come out?
No, it never came out. It was supposed to come out, but it never came out. The interview came out. The interview he did for the book.
I think there was some backlash.
Yeah, I would think.
All right. Well, up next, Ask Yee. 800-585-1051. If you need relationship advice or any type of advice, call Yee now. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.